Antino's well cleared. 3 lengths in front of the Wayne Wilson and kept going. It's all Antino, and Antino wins again. Antino from second. What a wonderful
Welcome
gallop
to this
for
week's edition of the Final Gallop. It is episode 303 and is proudly supported by the Brisbane Airport Hotels Group. We've got a pretty big show this week. We'll preview our 4 runners in feature races at Caulfield on Saturday, including Antino in the Group 1 Memsie, and we'll also look at our large team at Doomben. Morning, Tony. Particularly exciting for the stable and connections to have 4 runners in group races down in Melbourne on Saturday.
Yeah, good morning, Claire. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, it is an exciting week. Big team in Melbourne, probably the biggest team we've had in the state. So, and they're all in good shape. They're all in really good order. They've settled in well down in Victoria at Cranbourne, and I'm certainly looking forward to Caulfield. And obviously we've got a good enough sized team here at Doomben, which is good, and we've got lovely fine weather and good tracks.
Absolutely. This week our Spotlight segment is on the Group 1 performed mare Queen Air that you secured at the Magic Millions virtual sale on Tuesday. Tony, it's a really good opportunity for potential owners to come into a 5-year-old racing and breeding proposition. She's got great residual value.
Yeah, well, she's got residual value. She ran 3rd in an Oak, so she's probably worth 200, 250 residual just as a brood mare. So it's you're getting a good swing with her. Lovely mare. I feel very well suited back up here to Queensland.
Yes.
Likes good tracks, likes speed on, very suitable. She's 1400, I think, to 2100, ideal distance range. Want to map out preparations very similar with Princess Rani's.
Okay.
It's a very similar type horse, so I think she'll do a really good job here. She's vetted out beautiful, lovely big scopy mare.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think we can do a good job with on the track, and then there's that good residual value when she goes to stud or to sell her off to go to stud. Absolutely.
So if you are interested in coming into this mare with us, please get in contact with us at sales@gollanracing.com.au, or you can contact any one of us directly. Okay, now let's jump into our preview for Saturday. Firstly, with our runners on Memsie Stakes Day at Caulfield. The rail will be in the true position. The track is currently a good 4 with a shower or 2 forecast on Saturday. We start in race 5, which is the Group 3 Valet Black Caviar handicap over the 1100 metres. We have Antino in this race. He'll carry 58 kilos. Mark Zara will ride from barrier 3. He's currently paying $14 to win and $5 for the place. He gets his chance at group level after a barnstorming win last start. He will get conditions to suit on Saturday and a small field of 7 to posse up.
And the low draw is what's really important to him. He's done really well since he settled in down in Victoria, this horse. He worked around Caulfield, just had a good look around there on Tuesday. He wasn't out to run any sort of time, but what he did is what I wanted to see. The low draw is so important to him. There's good speed here. They'll go along at a good gallop. He should be able to posse up. Mark Zara's a great jockey booking for him.
Yes.
He had a jump out at Cranbourne the other day. He ran 2nd in recommendation, probably going as good as it, I felt, in the trial. So he's improved off that. Obviously, the more experience on that Melbourne leg, the more he's improving. So really happy with him. I think he lollies up into a lovely spot behind that speed. I think he's in for a big finish late. He's over the odds. He's standard of a horse that hasn't been running in those group races during the winter. They get down there, they're a bit overlooked by the market, but I can see him running a lot better than market expectation.
Okay. We've got a race 7 at Caulfield, which is the Group 3 Cochrane Stakes over the 1200 metres for mares 4 and up. We have 2 runners in this. Comrade Rosa will carry 57 kilos with Mark Zara riding her, and she'll jump from barrier 9. She's currently paying $10 to win and $3.40 for the place. She is a Group 2 winner, and she gets her chance interstate in the spring. First up, coming off a very impressive jump out at Cranbourne last week.
Yeah, they ran very slow times. She did it very easy, but the pleasing thing about the jump out there was the way that she stepped from the gates well for Mark. She can have a habit sometimes of being a little bit tardy, but most of that's off wide draws, where we're constantly drawing wide and going back and giving start. Drawn in the middle here on Saturday, I think she finds a lovely midfield spot. Even if it's 3 wide with a bit of cover, that's not a problem at Caulfield. You can go down the side there and 1 corner home. So, look, I think she's placed beautifully here. She's raced in some really good races through the winter and our summer carnivals. So there's no doubt she's up to this mare's grade down here. Good tracks are the key to her. She can get a lot of those here in the winter. She's got those shifting wet tracks all winter, which she doesn't love. So she gets back on good ground at Caulfield, good jockey, and I think she can take advantage of that mid-draw and give herself a good run. I think she's yet again another one that I think is a lot better than market expectation.
Okay, the second runner we have is Wallenby. She'll carry 57 kilos. Jai McNeil rides her barrier 6. She's paying $15 to win at the moment and $4.60 for the place. She did produce a whirlwind finish to win the listed Gay Waterhouse in the winter. She's had a little bit of a let up since her last run and also looked good in that Cranbourne jump out.
She was good. She's coasted along. She's one that likes speed on, getting off them and hitting the line. Worked very well with Antino at Caulfield on Tuesday morning. She's in good order, this mare. I'd say from gate 6, she sort of goes to sleep midfield defence, and you see her finishing off. You saw her run at the Gay Waterhouse at Ipswich, first run for the stable at 1200. She could sit off her speed and really rock it to the line.
Yeah.
Second up for the stable, she's on a very heavy track at the Sunshine Coast, and I'm sure that's not her go. Back on good ground, suitable for her. She's raced very well in Melbourne in mares grade before.
Yes.
Another one I think is over the odds, will run well. Both these mares are beauties. A little soft spot for Comrade Rosa.
Yeah.
I think she's a big improver in Victoria.
Okay. Race 9 is the Group 1 Memsie Stakes over the 1400 metres. Antino runs in this race. He'll carry 59 kilos. Jamie Carr rides Antino, and they will jump from barrier 6. He's paying $7 to win and $1.80 for the place. Great first up performer who did win the Group 2 Victory Stakes first up in the winter. Was just beaten in the Group 1 Toorak at this track and comes off an impressive jump out.
Yeah, he's in good order. He's enjoyed his second time down in Melbourne now. He was a bit of a fish out of water when I first travelled him away last year. This year, totally different. He settled in straight away. He looks better. He looks as good as I think I've ever seen him look. He's strong. He's done well on the bin and he's worked well. He worked very nicely under Jamie at Caulfield on Tuesday. We also the jump out. We don't need to go over that. He's just in good place. So the race, obviously, it's a very strong race. You know, Pride of Jenny and Mr. Brightside, not to mention there's another couple there as well to go quite good. So small field Memsie, which is pretty standard for this race, but always stacked full of quality. But they don't get any easier as the spring goes on. They just get tougher. So what is in our guy's favour, I guess, is his impeccable first up record. He should really be unbeaten first up. The only time he was beaten was Flemington, and we all saw what happened there. He just didn't get out. So I think Jamie Carr's a good booking for him. The fact she sat on him now a couple of times, she's got a feel for the horse, an understanding for the horse. I think he can run really well. You know, Jenny's going to try and break this field up mid-race. That's what she does, gets horses very uncomfortable. But what you see with Antino, particularly Victory Stakes first up in the winter, it was uncomfortable the whole race. And he still managed to bring out a win. So I don't think that is his biggest problem. So I think it's just whether he's up to this class, I suppose. But he gives me the feel that he is. Everything he's done in his best performance that shows he's right up to a race like this. So very excited about the weekend with him. And you know, out of all my runners down there, he's the one that we go there the most, with the most anticipation, I guess, for that race.
Okay. Now on to our preview for the runners at Doomben on Saturday. The rail will be in the 5 metre position. The track is currently a soft 5 with sunny days and hot days forecast. The concern is how much the track dries out, do you think?
Yeah, well, historically it tells us this time of the year as we get into the spring starts obviously on Sunday. As we get into spring, we start to get we've look like we've skipped the season at the moment. We've gone from winter to summer, the warmth here. It's just whether they keep enough water up to the track, etc. Still getting heavy dews of a morning, so whether they keep enough water up. These tracks can dry out on these first early warm days in spring. So whether they can whether Doomben gets a bit leaderish as the meeting goes on, that'll be there to be seen. But my gut feeling is it might. Later races might get a bit leaderish. Okay.
We kick off in race 2, which is the Class 3 plate over the 1630 metres. Kokonotsu runs in this, 57 kilos with Emily Lang's 3 kilo claim. He's drawn barrier 3. He's currently paying $11 to win and $3.30 for the place. Was a strong finishing first up runner over the 1300 metres 3 weeks ago, and he does have a good record at this track and trip and is drawn nicely.
His first up run was brilliant. He got cut in half in the back straight with interference. How they didn't fall was amazing, really. And then from that point on, he got put out in a limb to cover all that ground. He was still really good through the line. I was keen to give him the 3 weeks then to his next run, which is what we've been able to do. His work's been terrific. He looks terrific. He's more up now to a trip that suits. You know, a mile 1800 is where he needs to be. I've took all the gear off him for his first up run. I've left it exactly the same. I thought here it doesn't really matter where Emily sits in the run. He was becoming a bit of a one-trick pony there at one stage where everything was up leading on speed, but that's not the case. He can be anywhere he wants now in the run. We saw that at Sunny Coast the other day. I think he's only going to be better for that first up run. We know he improves into his prep. He's a genuine winning chance here. Okay,
race 3 is the QTIS 3-year-old plate over 1200 metres. Moulin Miss runs in this, 54 kilos. Angela Jones rides barrier 7. She's paying $2.70 to win and $1.65 for the place. Going for 3 wins in a row on Saturday. Very impressive last start over the 1110 metres at Doomben, and she now steps up to 1200.
Yeah, good filly. Nice prize money race. Awful barrier. Small fields, tricky draws, makes life tricky. The good thing about her is how adaptable she is. I can ride her pretty well whoever I like here, to be honest. So I'll have a look at this race a bit closer as we get into Saturday scratchings, etc. But she's done really well. Really heavy track the other day. Didn't bother running her. No issue with that. Month between runs, no problem. Very fit, healthy young filly. In good order. It's just a matter of what run we get off this awkward draw. So I'm not going to give too much away on our racing pattern of how we may or may not ride her here, because she is such an adaptable filly. There's a myriad of ways I can play this race, but I'm sure she's up to the quality. Yeah. We've just got to try and get the best run for her in transit.
Okay. Race 5 is the Colts, Geldings and Entires. No Metro wins handicap over 1,200 metres. John Rambo runs in this. 55 kilos. Angela Jones rides barrier 4. He's paying $2.30 to win and $1.28 for the place. Is first up and does have very good first up form, including winning at this track and trip last preparation. Looked super in a jump out at Eagle Farm last week.
Super, going great this horse. His trial was how he trials. That's how he always trials, Johnny boy. He's a bit keen and just flops along, and then his jump out last week was really good. He's improved off that. His work here Tuesday was great. He's ready to go fresh up. The trick to him is just holding a midfield spot, really. We probably don't want to be too far off him, but we can't have him out of his comfort zone either. So if Ange can get him to begin, she's fresh off a holiday, so she should be nice and fresh there Saturday, Angela. If she could hold a lovely jump on a nice midfield spot, get him to travel kind there, he can run really well here. You know, it's a right race. There's enough tempo up front. Yeah. The horse is certainly going good enough. This is the right race. He's my best chance on the card. We just got to execute the race well. Okay.
We jump down to race 8 now, which is the benchmark 78 handicap over the 1,350 metres. Black Max will run in this with 56.5 kilos using Emily Lang's 3 kilo claim. He's drawn barrier 17. He's paying $5.50 to win at the moment and $2.20 for the place. He is in good form. Was a close second last start at this track and trip. Drawn wide, but the claim will help.
Yeah, it will. He's one of these adaptable type horses as well that can race forward, mid, it doesn't really matter. Our plan here off a wide draw would be to be positive. Put him up on speed, tough horse, going well, right grade for him. Emily's claim gets him in well, with a positive ride from her. He's well placed. Just all the amount of work they've got to do down the back is the key to him, but he's the right horse. If we can negate the barrier and negate it in that back straight before we start cornering, we're right in the finish.
Okay. Got to race 9, which is the open handicap over the 1,200 metres. 2 runners in this race. We'll start with Situation Room, who's having a chat with his neighbour there. He'll carry 52.5 kilos with Emily Lang's 3 kilo claim. He's drawn barrier 13. He's paying $11 to win and $3.50 for the place. He hasn't been far away in any of his starts this preparation. 2 from 4 at this track and trip. We'll get a good track, but he's got to deal with the gate.
He does. I love the weight relief off him. Yeah. We've been carrying a bit of weight. I think I mentioned it in the last show. So I decided to pull some weight off him here. He gets in really light. I thought CJ rode him really good the other day and just stayed down in the worst part of the track. But that being aggressive on him early suits this horse. Get him into the race. Let him know he's there to rock and roll. He's a tough horse. Yeah. He absorbs pressure and he likes that style racing. So we'll be out to put a bit of pressure on from where he's drawn, put him right up on top of the speed. And I can see him running well. Big weight relief off him. Yeah. Big drop down in weights. Very suitable. He handles all tracks. He handles all conditions of ground, wet and dry. I think the horse up to 1,200 now around Doomben's ideal for him.
Second runner is Brereton. He'll carry 53 kilos. Angela Jones rides barrier 3. He's paying $3.90 to win and $1.80 for the place. Just missed winning 3 in a row last start by a stablemate. Up to open company and gets in light and drawn really well. Yeah,
I think the good draw on the lightweight's a big plus for him. He carried a bit of weight the other day, went a smidgen early, got a bit loose on the corner and got gunned down by the stablemate, as you mentioned. He maps to get a lovely run here. He's got adaptable barrier speed, just lobs up behind them. He looks as though he wants 1,200. His racing mannerism looks as though he wants it. They'll go quick enough, he's not going to pull mid-race, he'll just relax behind them. And he seems to have a lot of intent about how he's racing. He wants to find the line. So he just maps too well. Doomben, a lot of the time you'll see money come for horses throughout the day, and they're horses that always map to get the right run the way the track's playing. I feel that he'll be one of those horses on Saturday. They'll go quick, he'll land behind that speed, and with a light weight he'll get through, he'll run really well.
How are you going to split
I've probably got Brereton. I just think he's going to get a softer run. it just depends on how quick we can get situation room out and across them. He's the genuine old hardhead sprinter, isn't he? You know, like a few in the field. But Brereton's a bit of a new kid on the block, and I think ability-wise, and he just maps to do no work behind that speed, and I think he'll sprint quick with that big weight relief off him.
Okay. We are into the final furlong of this week's Final Gallop. Who do you think your best winning chance is at either Caulfield or Doomben on Saturday?
Johnny Rambo.
Johnny Rambo?
Johnny Rambo, yep.
If the right John Rambo turns up.
The right John Rambo will be there. He's ready to go. He's a really nice horse to be racing at this time of the season. Yep. You know, I think he's a horse destined for better races.
Okay, your best each way chance?
I'll give you a couple.
Okay.
All right, when you go Comrade Rosa at Caulfield. Yeah. I'd be shocked if she doesn't run top 3.
Yeah.
And Kokonotsu in the mile, and that's not me leaving out Antino in any stretch of the imagination. But so I could go all those 3 each way. Okay. I think you can have a good each way play there. They're all those 3 are over the odds.
And your best at the provincials, we have Toowoomba on Saturday night.
Yeah, we've got a couple up there. I quite like one of the newcomers, Rising Ruby. I thought her trial on the really wet ground was no good, but she won't get that up there, a jump out. But her trial was very good before that on good ground. But I like Pink Thunder. Okay. Nice filly, going really well. Won a midweek maiden in town. Mm-hmm. She's very well placed at somewhere like Clifford Park. Okay. Best track worker this week? Antino. Antino and Wallenbry. Paired up piece of work. That was the pick. This is just what I wanted to see. You know, it wasn't about the times they ran, just how they did it. No, Jamie Carr, she was glowing in his appraisal after that work. So Antino for me is the star of the show, and I'm hopeful he's going to be the star of the show on Saturday.
We'll see. A couple to keep an eye on from the trials on Tuesday?
There was a couple there. I mean, I thought Hidden Wealth was really good. He's a lovely horse. He's on a Wheatwood path here. So he runs in an open and goes there. And there's no doubt Freedom Rally. He was back. He was the one. Those were the 2 I really went there to have a good look at early. I think Freedom Rally's a nice horse. He heads to what's a very strong tramway in Sydney next week. So it's lovely to have a nice team of a few emerging horses heading away this spring. Some of them only have short little preps and come back here for a big summer carnival, but it's nice to have a few emerging horses, and Freedom Rally is definitely one of them. And your winner for the week? Only Cash Landing on Friday. It was a pretty tough week. It was. Last week. I thought Golden Boom was home. Yes, I did. I was really proud of his effort. And he was just beaten by a really good sprinter around Moonee Valley. The winner is just a good valley horse, and just got us late. But no, Cash Landing is star of the show. Blinkers on. Yep. Straight to the front. Jimmy Orman and that despicable 8-metre rail Ipswich, but he got the job done nicely. Okay. Now it is time for Cav's Corner, which is supported by the Brisbane Airport Hotels Group. It's been a pretty barren few weeks for Cav, but he's getting closer to winning his multi, or so he says. Let's find out what he's got for us this week.
Welcome to Cav's Corner for this week. Last week I reckon we were a touch unlucky. At Ipswich, rail out 8 metres. I think we got robbed. But anyway, this week we'll go to Doomben. On Saturday we'll go John Rambo will win. And then we'll venture up the hill to Toowoomba and we'll go Pink Thunder will win. Good punting, guys.
So he's gone John Rambo a win, hoping the real John Rambo turns up, into Pink Thunder a win. What do you think? I like it. Yeah, I like it. I actually do too. Yeah, it's a good multi. Yeah. We don't know the price of that multi yet because the markets for Toowoomba fields aren't out yet, but that's a good multi. Yeah, it is. I like that multi. Okay. Well, good luck down at Caulfield on Saturday, Tony. 4 good chances there and plenty horses to do us proud back here as well. Yeah, plenty happening everywhere at the moment. We're busy. Yeah. But it's really good. And also, don't forget about Queen Air. I spoke about it on the card. Yeah. It's just buying into a ready-made horse to run in, Saturday and stakes races up here in Queensland. Absolutely. Best of luck to everyone on the weekend.